Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy JTL, opposite from the norm, back with another one. I know it's been a minute. So I know everybody have already seen what, Daily Wrap Up Crew and Umar's conversation had started. And I'm going to do a reaction to that sooner or later, but right now I just want to do a couple of reactions to a lot of what people had to say. So first of all, shout out to This Might Be Risky YouTube channel. They got a sister on here that's going to bring up something about Umar and what he had to say, and they're going to have some responses. But you know me, I'm going to chime in and say what I got to say to certain things that she had to say. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Let's get it.
I was just saying that I think Dr. Umar said something very powerful in that speech his interview rather that you shared like a week or two ago. And for me, what I got from that was not that the current day Black man is the main source of the problem. It goes back to a generational issue, right? So if, let's say, my generation, right, you were born in like the early 80s or whatever, and you didn't have Black men in the community being a supplement to your mom making a poor decision, so for some reason your father wasn't there. So now you don't have that guidance as a young Black woman. I think that's what he was saying. It's like now we fast forward and niggas is just like women ain't shit. I think we have to be very honest to say most women ain't shit. Like, I think I spoke about this when Adrian tried to trip me up with the high vibrational woman and I said she doesn't exist. We just have to be honest to say most women ain't shit, right? But then we also have to be honest to say most niggas ain't shit. You know what I mean? Because now with that assignment, y'all don't want to step into that role of saying, okay, let's stop bashing women who have gotten pregnant by a nigga that's the kid is not mine. Let's stop putting them down and let's start pouring into our communities. I don't think nobody in y'all generation or in our generation, I should say, is ready for that responsibility yet. But I think that could be the start of the change.
All right, so this is why I got to keep it real. So she said being, growing up in the early 80s or whatever, being born in the early 80s, I was too. And the problem was, of course, we had the drug epidemic, the crack epidemic. We had to deal with that. So, brothers out there, a lot of dudes was out there making money, but they was taking care of home. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of women started gravitating towards that. Even then, when things started changing and making more money as athletes, movies, entertainers, and things of that nature, things happened to switch up. But a lot of people still wanted to deal with the drug life. And then when it came to rap music, people got focused on that. But that's neither here nor there. So when she said about supplement that and then not putting down women who had children by a nigga who's no longer there, we need to just pour into them. The problem is we've been doing that. This generation has changed into what women talked about back in the ages, back in the old, where they was talking about men being more communicative, being more sensitive, being more emotional, being more, I'm going through this and talk. Men have become that. Men have always poured into that, but you got to remember, back in the day, men didn't play that. If a woman went out there and got pregnant instead of getting married before she got pregnant to a guy that was actually about something, taking care of his responsibilities and his family, they got shamed for that, so other women didn't want to do it. And then sometimes grandma and granddaddy had to go ahead and raise that child. And then made it seem like that was just a cousin or somebody that came from out of town. That's how they used to get down with that back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So when they try to say pour into them, we've been doing that. Like, us men now are different from our men back then, but what made us so effeminate now that the women that call us weak is the problem, because nowadays guys are more emotional like women. Women got what they wanted, but the biggest issue was, you said pour into that woman instead of shaming them, which motherfuckers don't hardly do no more. But the biggest problem is you got so many people pouring into single mothers, and guess what? Instead of them stopping at one, you got a lot of bitches that will keep going. So we can sit there and act like it's just because people are not being there for these people in the community. But when you see a lot of women, they keep having multiple kids with a bunch of different dudes. Or they have multiple kids with one dude instead of ever getting married and then acting like it's okay. But you expect somebody to come and save you. You know what we actually need to do? Keep working on more rights for actual fathers. I thank God in Florida that they actually worked on doing that. That's what DeSantis did. Now, I'm not no DeSantis fan. You know what I'm saying? But now they're working on things that help single fathers. That's what we need. More rights for fathers instead of fathers being able to be pushed out of their home, pushed aside, cast aside, and not have no rights to his kids and trying to help. That's what we need to pour into.
Regards to what he was saying. So it's just going to continue to be a problem where you're not going to have much to pick from because the women that you're trying to pick from ain't shit, whether they educated, whether they from the slums, whatever the case may be. She's gonna have, if she didn't have a father or a nigga to lead her in some way, she gonna be fucked up, and she gonna be out here fucked up, and you're gonna be looking for something that she can't give. So I don't think it's intentional. I just think that most women aren't able to be anything but aggressive, masculine, not non-submissive, not agreeable, etc.
Chef Eddie with a $2 super chat. Yo, Mary, come help me clean these shrimp. Shit like that.
So this is another problem I have. They keep saying that these females end up being aggressive because, and you're going to see me say this because I got a couple more videos I'm going to do with people that was talking about what Umar said. A couple females since they was agreeing with it. This whole aggressive shit is bullshit. And the reason why I say that is because guess what, everybody? Most black females were like this when they was children. You know why? Because a lot of black mothers thought that shit was cute. The neck snapping, popping, the snatching dreams out of air and all that shit, all that loudness and all that. Who you think you talking? Like, come on, let's keep it G. Most black women that act like that were like that as children. They thought this shit was cute. And then when they became adults, they got more and more and more aggressive. That's just like somebody who a terrible criminal to society, right? 9 times out of 10, that little bad motherfucker was already a child that started out pickpocketing, stealing out of stores or something like that. Then it progressed into carrying concealed firearms, trying to rob somebody. They already had to start somewhere. So we all know that shit started when they was kids. Like, let's keep it real. So to say that you don't have a man around makes you aggressive. No, it don't. No, it don't. Because women can still be feminine. My mother don't act like that. And I know other people whose mother don't act like that. They not jumping in no man's face. They not trying to jump in nobody's face. They know their role. They know their position. So don't believe that shit when they try to tell you that, guys. Don't believe that shit. Just think about it. If they had to become more masculine because there was no man around, then where the fuck did you learn to be masculine from? Remember, there was no man around. So how did you learn to be masculine? Come on, guys, let's be for real. But once again, shout out to the YouTube channel. This might be risky. You know, I just want to give my opinion on it. And like I said, it's going to be a couple other videos I'm going to do. Another one coming up, Courtney Michelle, when she was talking to Daily Wrap-Up Crew. Yeah, I got to get on her because she was tripping. And then also Six the Goddess. I got to get on her. She was tripping too. So make sure y'all like, share, and definitely make sure you subscribe if it's your first time checking your boy. I will be back with more. All right? Sure.